Just after I graduated from high school, a brand new lake opened in the state of Texas, and I got to fish it the very first weekend it was open. We caught a lot of bass on it. My dad used to take me fishing all over this state growing up. It was a great experience. Well, I've only been back to this lake one time since then, and that's been about 20 years ago. Gonna revisit Old Home Week today on a lake I haven't seen in 20 years. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Glad you're with us. Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
I've been hearing some real good crappie fishing stories coming out of this lake. My online research, again, I haven't been here in a long time. The name of the lake is Lake Limestone. There it is right here behind us. It's named for the county in which it's situated, Limestone County. The lake is about 12,500 surface acres. It's impounded on the Navasota River. It was dammed up in 1978, filled up shortly thereafter and opened to the public. It's got 40 or 50 feet of water, max depth out in the middle of it. It's got good bass fishing, but today we're going to be targeting crappie, and it's going to give me a chance to experiment with some brand new gear that Lowrance has introduced to the marketplace. It'll be my first chance to play with it, see if it can help us find some crappie under some of these boat docks and some standing timber that's in Lake Limestone. This is going to be a lot of fun. While I'm out doing this, we're taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays right where you live. Going to cover both saltwater and freshwater this week. So next time you see me, I'll be down Lake Limestone in my NITRO. While we're getting set up and getting started looking, we'll get you back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Great news, everybody. These lunar tables are predicting fantastic fishing this weekend. Saturday's game fish activity is listed as excellent and Sunday is listed as good. Saturday is predicted to have some of the best conditions of the month. Look for the prime daytime hours to begin at 11:59 on Saturday and 1:03 on Sunday, with top evening action starting roughly around midnight. Expect the sun to rise at 7:21 and set at 7:18. A new moon on Saturday will keep evenings very dark most of this week. We're coming right back with fishing updates from around the area, plus I'll return with crappie fishing expert Wally Marshall. Stick with us.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by MotorGuide's wireless and easy-to-use XI3. WAYPOINT Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. Strike King, Taiwan on. NITRO Performance Fishing Boats, because champions aren't born, they're made.
There we go. First fish. There's a big fat dude right there. Look at the belly. Wide body crappie right there. Got one. There we go. First fish. There we go. I thought he was going to be in my marker buoy for a second, but I kept him out. All right, we're in business. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. If I can gently put my surgically repaired knee down on that carpet and show you, I'm just going to have to stand up. There's a big fat dude right there. Look at the belly. Wide body crappie right there. Well, we've made it. We've made it out onto Lake Limestone, and you can clearly see what's going on here. Look right there. There's one marker buoy, and then just up in front of me is another one. I mentioned that I've never been to this lake in the last 20 years, and so literally I just launched the boat and started driving around. Got in about 18 feet of water, something like that, and just started idling around looking at my side scans, my Lowrance HDS Live, looking for brush there, looking at my down scan on the other split, and then looking at my 2D sonar. So I was actually looking 3 different directions as I was driving around and came across a good brush pile. And then I'm using a brand new tool that I'll explain to you a little later. This is my new Lowrance Live Sight unit, and I can actually see the fish in the brush with that. So we're not keeping crappie today, and that's too bad because that's a good solid keeper for you there, but that one gets to go back. We're going to ease up and try to catch a couple of more of them, but you know, when you're doing this in these warm weather months, crappie just migrate to brush piles. Brush piles in boat docks in the hot weather months. That's where they go, and they stay there all the way until the water temperature steadily begins to cool off. Depending on where in our region that is, typically it's around November or so. and then they're gonna migrate out to real deep water, leave the brush.
Hey folks, Captain Greg Varm here for this week's Fox Southwest Outdoors Report. Hey, it is September here along the upper Texas Gulf Coast, and I tell you, it seems every single year Mother Nature has her way and formulates ideal conditions for the redfish spawn. Hey, we just had Tropical Depression Imelda pass through here in Freeport. Lots of rain and high water is what redfish like for a successful spawn. I tell you, one of my most successful days for bull reds was only a few days after Hurricane Harvey hit back in 2017. Hey, to catch the giant bull reds, I like fresh shad. Hey, places to target the bull reds right now are the Galveston jetties, both north and south, the San Luis Pass, both Bayside and the beachfront at the mouth of the Brazos River. Hey, use a heavy enough weight to keep your bait on the bottom depending on the current. I use anywhere from a 4-ounce to an 8-ounce egg sinker above a swivel, an 80-pound mono leader, about 2 foot long, with an 8 to 10-aught circle hook, and hold on, you're gonna get hooked up with some giant bull redfish right now. Hey, if you wanna come down, catch some giant bull reds on the beachfront, or get back in the bays and catch some nice slot reds, give me a call, check out our website, and we have lodging here at Bays Landing. I'm Captain Greg Varm. I'll see you next time.
I can see these fish with my live sight right there. I can see them swimming around that brush, and I'm right on it. Got him. Perfect. Right on cue. Right on cue. What have I got? Oh, that's a decent crappie. Come in, man. There we go. Okay. We got something going now, ladies and gentlemen. My first live sight crappie on camera. Look at that fat dude right there. That's a good one. Hit my little Bobby Garland baby shad right there. I'll show you that at the end of the show as well. Man, if we were keeping them today, that is a gorgeous crappie. Just look at the beautiful color. Look how wide his body is and how fat he is. These are very healthy fish. Lake Limestone. Well, let me reveal my new toy, my new piece of gear. This is the Lowrance live sight transducer. Basically what it amounts to, it's just a transducer that you buy. There's what one looks like. Now, I have this one mounted on a specially made pole. It's made by a company called Fishing Specialties. You can buy it online. We'll give you the website at the end of the show. It's got a handle on it. And you can basically aim the transducer any direction outward you want, or you can switch it to down and aim it down. But I'm using it to find these brush piles, to actually scan and search. And it's giving me a live view of what's going on in front of that transducer. So, as you can see right here, I'll give you a quick shot. You're looking at my screen, I've got it set. Most people like the darker colored palettes, but I like this white one because it's the same 2D color that I've been used to looking at for all these years. But you can see right here that you can see the bottom shooting outward away from the boat. The boat's on the left side of the screen. And then the further away you go down here to the right, that's the further away from the boat it is. So you can see, here's the brush pile right here. Here's the top of the brush pile. And you can actually occasionally see a fish swimming around the outside edge of the brush pile. They look like little dots and they actually move. They move in real time. So you can actually scan underneath a dock, you can scan a brush pile, you can scan a grass bed, and you can actually see the fish swimming around in there. It's almost not fair. Here's what my lure looks like. I'll drop a lure in here, let it go down. Okay, it leaves a little blue trail right there. There's what my lure looks like, and I'm jigging it up and down. And so you can watch your lure, and then occasionally if there's a fish, you can actually watch your fish swim over, eat your lure, and you can see the fish fight his way to the surface. It's just an incredible tool. We'll experiment some more with it today and see what else it'll do, but it showed me that fish anyway. Good crappie here on Lake Limestone. That heavy jig down to the bottom and then gently lifting it up off the bottom and giving it a little pop every now and then. There's one. Every now and then you give it just a little pop. Well, you can see I'm pretty much just parked on this brush pile. In fact, there's my buoy right there. I'm about 15 feet off this brush, and I'm actually using my trolling motor to move around the outside edges of the brush pile. So the way, we haven't talked much about how to fish brush piles, but I'm using these long rods, these 12-foot long rods, and I'm gently lowering that heavy jig down to the bottom and then gently lifting it up off the bottom and giving it a little pop every now and then. There's one. Every now and then you give it just a little pop. That's not a big one, but that's kind of the technique. You don't give it a lot of big jerks and a lot of big hops. That's a good keeper, but not as big as some of the ones we've been catching today. And again, the technique for crappie that I like to use is when you get ready to pop it in that brush, you hold it still for a moment. And then when you get ready to hop it, you don't hop it up. You pop it down and then back to the same position. So you go down, pop, down, pop. That's my technique. And what that does is that crappie sitting next to that brush, that jig comes down in front of his face. It sits there. If he doesn't bite it, it goes down and then comes right back to the same position. And all he's got to do is just open his mouth and suck it in. And you can literally trigger a crappie into biting, even a finicky one that doesn't want to bite, with that little technique. So my rod tip right there, I go down, pop, right back up. And that's how he bites it. Down, pop.
Hi folks, welcome once again to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by McKenna Quinn, elegant ladies outdoor apparel. Made right here in Texas, you deserve to have your ladies in McKenna Quinn. Now this week we've come to beautiful Lake Fork, Texas, just outside the town of Emory, to talk about bass fishing. We're going to start early in the morning, either on a point or around the pads and the grasses. If you start on the point, you'll want to use things like your buzz baits, your pop-ars, and your Zara spooks. Now once that bite plays out, you're going to need to go deep for daytime fishing. You'll want to drag things like your Carolina rig, your drop shot, or even a 10-inch worm on a Texas rig. Your best bet for a big bass at Lake Fork right now comes in the nighttime. Throw your big 10-inch power worms in blue fleck or a red shad color, or your big spinner baits in black blue and your bladed jigs in black blue. Now up at Texoma, smallmouth are biting, but they're a little deeper than they have been. They're going to be staying somewhere in that 12 to 18 foot range around ledges and drops. You'll want to look at rocky points to start, and you may get a quick topwater bite early in the morning. But pretty soon you're going to need to throw medium deep diving crankbaits in a citrus shad type color and your hair jigs around those rocks. That's been this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by McKenna Quinn, elegant ladies outdoor apparel. Be sure and check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Louisiana Outdoor Report, coming to you from Hackberry, Louisiana at Cajun Paradise Charters. Tell you what, we're going to start off right here on Lake Calcasieu in Hackberry talking about saltwater fishing. Tell you what, we're in a early fall, late summer pattern. Lots of speckled trout getting caught, lots of redfish. The redfish are still deep. Trout are starting to move up out of that deeper water, getting on them shell beds in 4 to 6 foot of water. Tell you what, live shrimp under a popping cork, key there. For Toledo Bend now, for the bass scene, lots of bass getting caught early and late. These temperatures are starting to cool down a little bit. The bass are getting active. During the midday, lots of schooling bass getting caught on 1/4 and 1/2 ounce rattle traps and big old slab spoons. I tell you what, for old Cajun Phil, Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing. May God bless, and we're going to see y'all right here next week.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Mercury, Go Boldly. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. Balls Out, made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders.
Oh baby, we are having us some fun now. That's a slab. This is like video game fishing right here. Hey, welcome back everybody. We're still at Lake Limestone in Texas, and this is just ridiculous. I'm out here crappie fishing today, and first time I've been here in many years, and I'm using my new Lowrance Live Sight transducer connected to my Lowrance HDS Live unit up here, and I can actually see the brush and see these fish swimming around the brush, these little dots right here. In fact, I'll show you a quick shot of it, but those are all fish right there. And every once in a while, here's one. Got him. You can actually see one swim over and eat your bait. There we go. Just a decent one. Not a monster or anything, but we're catching them anyway. So you kind of learn, there's a little bit of a learning curve to knowing what you're looking at on this. The first time I used it, I really didn't recognize what fish looked like, and I didn't recognize very well what brush looked like. And you can even see your line in the water. And I played you play around with the different palettes, with the different settings. You can put it on automatic, or you can put it on manual and adjust your own settings. And I played with the settings a little bit, got the ones I liked. But I can actually see my lure jigging up and down in the brush. And then occasionally I'll see those fish swimming around down there. And the other day I was on my home lake in Texas where I live, and I could actually see the crappie swimming over, eating my bait. And then I could watch the crappie fighting to the top on the live sight unit. So it's pretty incredible, neat piece of gear. And I really think this is probably where the future's headed. But in case you want to come to Limestone, it's about a 12,500 acre surface acre lake. And it's got good East Texas clarity of water, just kind of that little bit coffee green stained looking water. The lake's got a lot of standing timber in it. So if you come here for the first time, you want to be really careful, because you can see, even out here in front of me, you can see some of these stumps sticking up above water, but there are some that are those dangerous kind that are right under the surface. So you just got to be real careful. Out in the middle, right in the center of the lake, you can pretty much run okay, but there are several places where there are these big patches of brush and stumps.
Hey, it seems like I've been telling you for most of 2019 how good the crappie fishing is on Lake Eufaula this year. Well, it's still that way right now. You need to check it out. I jumped in the back of the boat with Gary Rowe and Jeff Samsel. We concentrated on the north end of the lake and had a great day of crappie fishing. And pretty much caught them in just about every type of scenario you could think of. Around docks, around brush piles, around the I-40 bridge. On the brush piles, it seemed like the best depth was that 10 to 12 foot depth range. Now Gary's been having his best success there on the Bobby Garland itty bit swimmer in the mayfly color, but we also caught a good number of fish on some of the other body styles too, including the 2-inch baby shad and mayfly, monkey milk, and we were catching those fish at the top of the brush piles about 6 to 8 feet down. Around the docks, kind of around the poles down into the water supporting the docks, brush around those docks, and then at the I-40 bridge on the pillars themselves and in front of the points between the point and the pillar, and even around the fish structure the Department of Wildlife puts out. Remember, you can find those waypoints at wildlifedepartment.com. Look them up. It'll give you lots of places to try at Lake Eufaula where you can catch them, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
There they are. I can see those fish swimming around that brush pile on my live site right there. And there's my jig. Fish, got him. There he is. Come up. Oh, big one, big one. Look at that dude. Look at that dude. Up he comes. Yeah. Oh, baby, we are having us some fun now. That's a slab. This is like video game fishing right here. This Lowrance live site unit. It's transducer, plug it in your HDS, tweak it out, watch the crappie swim around the brush piles, watch them swimming under the boat docks, watch them swimming around the bridge piers and pilings. Then you can watch your jig go down, hop it up and down, and in real time you can watch the fish swim over and bite it. That's just pretty darn incredible right there. Back he goes. If we were keeping them today, we would have a nice mess of crappie, I guarantee you. And this little deal right here is really handy too. You just pick it up and lay it in the floor of your boat like you do your rod when you get ready to move, and then when you're ready to fish again, slide it right back. It falls right back in that little slot. You can turn it with your hand right here, steer it any direction you want, point it any direction you want. That is just one pretty incredible piece of gear.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and the follow button on Twitter, and watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free WAYPOINT TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Request our free 2019 fishing guide at orangebeach.com. Lose, feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland, the best in bass and crappie lures, heads to tails. Glacier Glove, stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Emmett wants to know, what is the biggest crappie you have ever caught? To get the answer, we checked with crappie fishing expert Wally Marshall.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was 3 1/4 pounds. I was fishing with Jimmy Houston. We was doing a show up in Oklahoma, and we were using spinning tackle, and this is one of my speed shooter rods that I have on the market today with Lew's. I was using a 6.5 foot rod, 6 pound test, 16th ounce lure, and I caught the biggest crappie of my life on blue and white, my favorite color.
Thank you, Wally. If you want some help from one of the pros, simply go to foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question. Now it's time to find out who wins this week's Big Catch of the Week.
It's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. He's Brandon Rowan of Pearland, Texas, showing a 40-pound gag grouper he caught out of Galveston Bay, Texas. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/foxsportsoutdoors. Go to our Tuesday post and click comment, add your big fish onto the comment along with the information we request on where the fish was caught, your name, your city, all of those particulars, and you just might be our next winner. Here's the gear we used to catch the crappie on Lake Limestone today, beginning with the Lew's Wally Marshall Signature Series crappie rod. It's a 12-foot long crappie rod, identifiable by the orange color right here on the lower portion of the rod. It's perfect for reaching out into those brush piles. As far as the baits we used today, really there were 2 of them. One of them was the Bobby Garland Pile Diver. It's rigged on a Bobby Garland Moglow jig head. Then the other was the old standby classic. That's the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. Both of those 2 baits will work great in these brush piles. And here's one more look at my brand new magic toy. This is the Lowrance Live Sight Transducer. The transducer's actually here. Plug it into my Lowrance HDS live display unit, and we can see those brush piles 40, 50, 60 feet away from the boat. And I've got it rigged on a fishing specialties bracket that's specially made for this. It's got a telescoping pole, it's got a handle, fits easily into this bracket that you just bolt to the deck or the gunnel of your boat. It holds it firmly in place, and you can point the transducer right at the brush, or you can scan for brush or for fish. I saw a billboard last week that had a shot of a pre-teenage girl laughing, and the caption at the bottom said #DadJokesRule. It was promoting a website, fatherhood.gov, that gives all kinds of tips and resources for being a good dad. Things like helping with homework and fun activities to do, and a blog and a daily tip, and much more. But here's the deal. None of that matters if your give-a-crapper is broke. You have to want to be a good dad before anything else counts. Now, your son needs you. Your daughter needs her dad. Your adult son needs you. Your adult daughter needs you. You never outgrow your need for a dad. And the best news, it's never too late. As long as you're alive and your kid or kids are alive, there's still a chance for you to make strides towards being a good dad. You gotta care first, and then get out there and do something while there's still time. I hope you learned something in the last half hour about how to locate these brush piles out in fairly deep water using some of the new gear that's on the market, how to dissect them, how to use these jigging techniques to extract crappie out of them. It's very effective, and it's a fun way to catch them. I hope you enjoyed our first ever trip in many years to Lake Limestone in Texas. And until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.